Okay, we're just talking to Brian. Brian, what's your last name?
Brian Cutright,
Brian,
Cutright.
and from Sonoma County, is that
Yes,
right?
I live in Sonoma County.
And why did you choose to live in Sonoma? Why is that home for you?
I live in Sonoma. I hope you can hear me.
I can hear you. Yeah.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. Just the question is what do you love about Sonoma? Why did you end up there?
You know, that's a question my wife and I talk about frequently. We really don't know how we ended up here other than carpentry. I was living in San Rafael in Marin County. We were always in Marin. And I started working on some projects in Napa and then Sonoma. And I started doing some weekend work as a carpenter, kind of handyman for some people in Sonoma. And we were in Marin and wanted a yard. And we were growing our family, having babies. And we had a dog. And it was like, at the time, much cheaper to move up to Sonoma County and have a house with a yard. And we just kind of scored a house with a yard that allowed a dog for a cheap price in our eyes. And we just started working up here. I had, a lot of ground up construction. And it just kind of stuck, where we enjoy the calmness of it. It's a little slower than Marin County, not as rapid. Marin just has a more speedy kind of process happening, and we really enjoy that. But we're also movers. We're open to experiencing other places. We're really attracted to Marin. We've been looking at other places in Sonoma County. We love Petaluma. We love Sebastopol. We love Occidental area. But right now we're in Sonoma. So that's just kind of how we landed here.
Mm-hmm. And what do you work in specifically right now, and what are you hoping to work into?
Yeah, so I am a general contractor. We do every aspect of mainly residential building. We do some commercial projects. Right now, I'm working on some remodels and additions that are kind of sizable projects, not just littler in the sense of square footage additions. Like the last couple projects, one was a whole house interior remodel, kitchen, and just interior, added a couple fireplaces. Another project was we did a 1,300 square foot addition underneath a house in Belvedere. So we dug out the hillside and poured a whole bunch of concrete and retaining walls and waterproofing and all the fun stuff that entails. And then additions, I did a 300 square foot addition on a house in Sonoma recently. So when I first moved to Sonoma, I was doing a lot of ground up construction. So lots that were either purchased vacant or had a house on them that got completely demolished and sent to refuse and then rebuild from scratch. So that's kind of my sweet spot, is ground up construction. I really enjoy that whole process. I get down with anything. I mean, we fix, light switches that are broken or fences or anything, So right now we're doing gutters and roof stuff because we've had so much rain. So a lot of calls on leaks and waterproofing and such. So, and my philosophy on building is just networking. I want to work with people who appreciate my service that I bring. My service comes from a place of love and intention. So everything that we do, we talk about, we come up with a conscious plan. We're not just throwing stuff sometimes you have to throw stuff at the wall until it sticks, but we brainstorm and come up with a process that is, has intention behind it. And then I harp to anybody who I work with, please put love into what you're doing. And I find that the results, if there are problems, they're much easier to remedy, because that's what construction is. It's just experimentation. I love experimentation. So what I'm trying to get into is community development. So I was just making espresso this morning and kind of thinking, I'm going to label myself as a community developer. And then if I want to talk to different crowds, put the word, a conscious community developer, or a intentional, or a self-sustaining, or, a holistic. My wife is a massage therapist and a yoga instructor. She was a modern ballet dancer for her whole life. So we're very in the healing arts and alternative medicines and organic lifestyle, and just trying to connect back with Earth. I mean, we struggle so much as parents not getting enough Mama Earth time with our kids. We're just in such a hustle bustle, and then you have kids with other kids and the social scene. So it's what we're trying to do is get back to the land, educate our kids through land engagement, whether it's animals or gardening or building, just the education, survival, lifestyle. So
beautiful.
Yeah.
What brings you the most joy about what you do? Like what really fires you up when you're out there?
Oh man, honestly, it's the people, man. I'm finding more and more that my ability to just connect with people during the process and have a little education for them, if I have something I can share to help them, and also if they have something that can help me. So just the interaction with other humans. I'm trying to break down my business and categorize all the stuff, and what I'm most attracted to as a general contractor is calling the subcontractors and talking to them and hearing about their lives and their families. And we're also talking about work and solutions to the job site and all of the things that come with building. And it's really that relationship and that structure that is built in that dynamic, which in my eyes holds up the house also. So my biggest joy is building. Like if I can put on some Bob Marley and put my bags on and be a carpenter all day long, I'm stoked. But that's only because I did that for 15 years and burnt out my body, and now I don't do that every day. So I really enjoy building. I love artistic expression. I just love the creativity and the dynamic of brainstorming with everybody involved, whether it's architects, homeowners, or tradesmen. It's like, how about we do this? I'm always messing with our electricians and plumbers about their lines. I'm like, man, why didn't you like stack them, man, and make them look beautiful? This is your art piece, So I love art, and that is how I approach building homes, is an artistic expression. So
along these same lines, just what actually brings you the most distress about the work that you do these days?
Yeah, I think the cost. I am realistic with my costs, and I am also frustrated with the industry in general. I can't tell you how many jobs, because when I look at a set of plans, I do my best to anticipate what I see on the plans and what is actually going to happen. So I try to be realistic with the timeline and the cost up front, so that homeowners aren't mad at the contractor and giving contractors a bad rap. So what I find, though, is that my costs are generally much higher than other people's, but I never hear back from the people at the end of the project. My goal, I have 2 projects that I missed, and I asked when I didn't get the job, if I could circle back and just find out, hey, how long did it take and what was the cost? Would that be okay? I'm just trying to improve my business operations and want to make sure I'm staying in the field of other people. So it's really those two things, the cost and being the reality of that. So I feel a burden because building is so expensive, and I'm just adding up all the line items to give them the total number, and I have to make a profit. And this isn't my first time doing it, so I try to be reflective of the industry of what the hourly rate is, or the cost, or the profit and overhead. So
it's beautiful. So based on these like joys and distresses, why are you doing what you're doing now? Like, in terms of the things you're working on now, but also, as I said earlier, what do you aspire to see happening within the construction industry?
Yeah, right. Well, twofold. On the personal level, I'm trying to build healing homes. So I want to be able to collaborate on design that actually provides a beneficial environment for whoever is in the space, whether they're living there or just habitating it for an hour or whatever, participation with that house. And also trying to integrate nature with the house, in the sense, Austin, you said something a couple of weeks ago that we try to live in a 68-degree controlled environment all the time. And, since then I've turned my heat off a handful of times just to experience the cold in the house. It's like we need that cold experience. We need the hot. We need the change. So the harmony with nature, the healing home. And then as far as the industry, that would be the second fold. I am really just looking to provide the next generation an opportunity to free up time, meaning there's a lot of human interaction on a job site that just seems like busy work. You got guys that are working 40 hours a week and it's their paycheck, and you got to find something for them to do if you don't have your order of operations set out, if you're waiting on materials. So you have to get creative on finding work, and I believe that a home, we could define all of the work at the beginning of a project, and with the 3D printing, be able to use our time for other tasks. That, just one comparison I like to use is nailing every 6 inches on the perimeter of a sheet of plywood. That takes a guy 10 minutes to get the compressor, get his hose, get the nails. And if he's looking at the prints, you got multiple people looking at it, and it's just a lot of energy and time, not to mention the truck that's delivering the plywood, the guys at the lumber yard who are loading the plywood, where the plywood comes from, the tree that got taken, so there's just this chain of interaction that I'd like to disrupt and free up all of those people to do more beneficial things for human society, like grow food, like learn about construction in an alternative way, learn textiles, how to grow, how to be in relationship, just different ways that they can put the 3D printer on, and then they have time to be human and just be better parents, be better friends, be better lovers, be better sisters, brothers, kids, however it unfolds. But it just provides an opportunity is what I'm really excited about with the 3D printing.
Yeah. So who are you as an agent of change within the construction industry, and as a community builder too? Like, who are you?
Yeah, it's a great question. I would say that I am a connector. I'm just a coupling or a conduit, a conductor of the building experience, having the building experience, bringing the people together that want to come together, and ingenuity, finding solutions for those problems that you're going to encounter, or just unknowns. So I feel like I am I help carry the torch, and I'll hand the torch off to whoever needs the torch, or wants the torch, or it's that time for them to have the torch. So my goal is I'm just part of the band, honestly. I can play any musical instrument that's needed.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that just that you haven't mentioned yet? You'd just like to, in terms of how you've come to this, or how.
Austin, you frozen? You still with us?
I'm here. Yes.
Yeah. So I heard all that, Austin. The thing. Yeah, I come from a place of love, a place of doing better for my family. Mainly my children, I have put a lot of work into my relationship with my wife and my children, and if there's a way I can build something, whether it's the space inside of a building, or the land collaborative that is the vessel for healing. I want to help heal. I want to provide a safe place for people, kids, families, and to come together and to know that they're not alone. We are all struggling on the planet, whether you say you're not or you are. There is a human struggle to survive, and knowing that you have brothers and sisters and other humans that are going through the same thing, and there to support and help provide what's needed to survive. That's what I'm chasing. I want to create the network, and I feel like I'm just part of the mixing.
Beautiful. Thanks so much for sharing. Christian or Gregory, do you have any questions or just anything want to ask specifically about Brian?
I mean, specifically around Brian, not about 3D printing or anything about.
Yeah, just about Brian as a person.
So, about his thoughts on the industry. Okay, just the personal. Yeah. No, I love everything you said. I really resonate.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Gregory. Christian, anything?
I mean, not right now.
Okay, good. Thanks for doing that, Brian. Yeah. That's just helpful for us to, again, so people can get to know you.
I'm excited to help in any way, shape, or form, and I feel like we're all just a part of it. So any way I can get in, I'll reference Too Short, get in where you fit in. So we're.
I just want to comment I really enjoy listening to everything you were saying, and as another contractor, could relate to so much of what you were saying. So thank you for saying everything you said and shared.
Thank you, Christian. Yeah, it's honestly a pleasure. I'm stoked to have an audience like you enlightened brothers. So thank you.
Thanks, Brian. Really appreciate that. Yeah. Christian, why don't we stop this recording so they could just it can be sent as its own thing, and we can restart recording again.